Molweni sanibonani kunjani? Molweni sanibonani kunjani? Ndingumntwana wabantu. Listen man, you face I'm here. I am mtwana wabantu. Igama lam ndingumntwana wabantu. I'm mtwana wabantu. Let's get started. So without further ado, let's get started. So now let's say question number 17. Consider the function. So we have this is a quadratic function. This one right here. So let's say consider function, mean this function here, quadratic function, and this is a linear function. I'm gonna attach a link below so you can get to learn more about quadratic and linear. But for now, let me just focus on the equation. Now let's say you find the value of h -1 and g -1. So what does that mean? Look, if they say h -1, what does that mean? Look, this is h, this is h. Means whenever there's a x, we must put on -1. So I'm gonna say now h of -1. Let me find h of -1, and then let me find g of -1. So that means h of -1. Just a second. This one. H of -1 meaning h of -1. Look, h -1 means here instead. Look, h is h. Instead of say x, we're gonna say -1. So equal to 2 is just a 2. So in the position of x now, it's not gonna be x. It's gonna be -1. And then we square with plus, and then we plus x. What is the x? X equal to -1, and then we -1. So plug in the calculator, or you can just do your math. -1 is equal to 1. 1 times 2 equal to 2. So you have to get 2. And the plus and minus. And then minus. So this is 1. And the minus 1. So if you, okay, so if you simplify this equal to 2 minus 2 equal to 0. You see what I'm saying? So h of -1 equal to 0. So okay, I know my h of -1 equal to 0. So let's just make a space. So h of -1 equal to 0. So we know h of -1 equal to 0. Let's find g of -1. So h of -1 equal to 0. So h of -1 equal to 0. So h, let me write here, of -1 equal to 0. So we know this one here. Now let me find g of -1. So g of -1 means we're going to take this, we substitute in there. You see what I'm saying? We substitute right there. So g of -1 means it's going to be g of -1, meaning we're going to take this g is a g. In the position of x, there's a -1. So it's going to be -1 equal to 4. In the position of x, it's going to be -1 and then we minus 5. 4 times -1, -4. Minus 5, -9. Okay. So we have a h of -1 equal to 0 and g of -1 equal to -9. And what do they want us to do? They say you should take h of -1 minus g of -1. So in other words, this time I say, what is h of -1? H of -1 equal to 0. So we're going to say 0. Let me just do this so this will make a lot of sense. So g of -1 equal to -9, right? Yes, I think so. How did I get? I forgot now. Okay, g of -1, okay, I can just plug here. -1 times 2 equal to -4 times minus -1, -9. Okay, so now in a question they want you to do h of -1, which equal to 0, minus g of -1 equal to -9. So 0 minus g of -1 is -9. Minus positive. So it's going to be positive 9. So this is going to be our answer. Option 3. So the first question, question number 17 is done. Now we go question number 18. So let's make a space here and we do question number 18. Okay, question 18. See, I just erase unintentional. So now let me just write clear because it was kind of erased. This is line that is parallel. Apologize, guys. Parallel to the straight line. Okay, so now they give us a lot of lines here. So we want to know which line is going to be parallel to the straight line. This. So first and foremost, look. Any equation of a line. Let me show you something there. Any equation of a line is always in this form. Y equal to mx plus c. So whenever you're given any type of equation of a line, make sure you rearrange in a standard form of equation of a line, which is this one here. So this is y is like coordinate of y. M represents slope, or sometimes we call it gradient. So slope meaning gradient, same thing. Which is represented by letter what? Letter M, gradient. And C is the y-intercept. And when y-intercept, x equal to 0. Guys, I'm going to touch a link below so you can get to learn all these questions of the line in depth. Okay, so now we know M represents slope. M represents the slope. So first and foremost, I'm going to have to rearrange this equation so that it can be in this format. Means y has to be alone, m and x and plus c. So now let's rearrange the equation. So this is our equation here, which is 2y. So it's 2y equal to 3x minus 1. So I'm going to have to keep y alone. Can you see? So divided by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2. So divided by 2, divided by 2, and divided by 2. This and this cancel. So we're going to say our standard equation of the equation which is given, which is to this, is what? Y equal, because this and this cancel, equal to 3 over 2 x and then minus a half. So I'm going to do the same thing with this option and rearrange and see which, because okay, just let me explain something very, very important, here about parallel and perpendicular. Because that's a key question, parallel and perpendicular. Parallel and perpendicular. Let me explain to you something. So we can just wow, I'm sweating, so I'll just kind of, okay, parallel and perpendicular. If you have two lines, let's say this is a line and this is a line. The slope of this line, slope represented by letter M, and the slope of this line, they must be equal because they're parallel. So whenever lines are parallel, let's say this line 1 and line 2, means slope of line 1, it must be equal to slope of line 2. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's it. It's like, let's say this equation about y equal to, let's say 5x plus 1. So even the second one, it could be, let's say y equal to 5x plus 6. It could be different, but the slope must be the same. You know why they're the same? Because they are parallel to each other. So whenever lines are parallel, their slope must be equal. You see what I'm saying? The slope must be equal. Okay, so for perpendicular, please click the link below. You can get to learn more about the perpendicular lines. Or I can just show you quickly in a second. For perpendicular, when two lines are perpendicular, perpendicular means line must make angle 90. Let's say this line 1 and this line 2. So the angle in between them is 90 degrees. Means line 1 is perpendicular to line 2. And now for this case, you say slope of line 1 times slope of line 2 always equal to -1. So slope they're not equal, but they're perpendicular to each other. When they're perpendicular, if you multiply this slope, it's always going to give you -1. Like I say, for more depth on perpendicular parallel, please in the link below so you can learn more. So now for this case now, so what I'm going to do, since they say equation of a straight line that is parallel to the straight line, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this equation and rearrange and see if it's going to have the same slope as this, because if it's going to have the same slope, means it's parallel to this. You see what I'm saying? And now that's what I want, the equation of a line, which is going to be parallel to this. Now let me take one by one now. Let me take the first equation. So first, arrange in the standard form of a line. So I'm going to say, let me take this one, option 1. So this is going to be 2y equal to x minus 3. So divided by 2, because it has to be y equal to mx plus c in this format. So divided by 2, so we're going to be left with y equal x. It's like a 1x, so it's like 1x divided by these 2 minus 3 divided by 2. So this is not parallel, because you know what? This slope here is not the same with this. So it's not. So this is not. Now we go for the second one. So for the second one, do the same strategy, the same tricky. The second one is for y equal to, okay, so we divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. When we divide by 4 here, it's going to be y, because we want it to be in this format, equal 6 divided by 4, because you have divided by 4, divided by 4, divided by 4. So 6 divided by 4 equal to 3 over 2. Alright, x, now we go plus. 8 divided by 4 equal to 2. Let's see. Yes, this is parallel. You see what I'm saying? Because this slope here is the same with this slope. So this is true answer, but let's continue. We can just guarantee with one. So option 2 is the answer, but let's just continue because we can just guarantee for now. We need to finish first, guys, because it might be maybe we made a mistake, you never know. Now let's come here. So here we're going to divide by 3 divided by 3 and divided by 3. So this and this, no. So y equal to 2 over 3. So this is 2 over 3 x minus 3 over 3 equal to 1. No, it's not, because this is 2 over 3 and this is 3 over 2. You see what I'm saying? So this is not the answer. So this is not. Now we go for the last one. The last one we don't have to rearrange anything because it's already in standard form. Excuse me. It's already in standard form. So since it's already in standard form, we say our slope equal to 1 over 3. The slope equal to 1 over 3. Excuse me. Slope equal to 1 over 3, which is not equal to this one. So out of this option, option number 2 is our answer. You see what I'm saying? Now let's go to the last question. Excuse me, guys. Go to the last question, guys. Oh my God. Come on, man. Come on, baby. Chill, man. Okay, now we go for the last question. Question number 2. Question number 19. Oh my man. Question number 2. We don't have question number 2. Question number 10. Okay, so question number 10, number 19. Man, cool. They say the line of equation that does not represent this line is, okay. So it seems like most of these lines represent the equation of a line. So we're gonna have to pick the one which is wrong. The linear equation that does not represent this line, I mean this line is, okay, so you can't just go and pick. You're going to have to solve. You're going to have to find the solution. You see what I'm saying? So this is how it goes. Let me take you there until we find which one is not right one. Yeah, I'm stretching a lot. Okay, cool. Now let's go. So first and foremost, if you're given a question, if you're given a line, we have a coordinate. What is the coordinate of this? Here means the value of x equal to 5 and y equal to 0. And here, if you have to write two coordinates, the value of x equal to 0, because we want to start with the x, and the value of y equal to -2. That's supposed to be -2. Let me check here. Yeah, -2, of course, yes, -2. So here x equal to 5 and y equal to 0, because whenever you allocate the coordinate, you must start with the x. So x equal to 5, y equal to 0, and then here x equal to 0, y equal to -2. Okay, like I say, for more depth, I'm going to put the links below. Go and watch those videos. They're going to help a lot of exam and understanding depth, exam prep, or your assignments, whatever projects you're doing. So first and foremost, I'm going to take this coordinate. So I'm going to say my coordinates given here are 5 and 0. And another coordinate is what? 0, -2. -2. Okay, so this is my two coordinate. So first and foremost, here where you want to go, because your intention, you want to get a equation of a line before you go to this. Equation of a line, it has to be in this format. Y equal to m x plus c. And the first thing you should find is the slope. So this is the first thing you should always find before you do anything, or if they give you the coordinate. Now let's find the m slope. So m equal to change in y means, remember this is x and this is y, and this is x and this is y. Let's call this x1 y1, let's call this x2 y2. So if you want to get slope, take the change in y over change in x. In other way, take y2, which is -2, in other way you can say y2, minus this y, which is y1, over x2 minus x1. So that's what say change in x. So, or you can say either way, or you can say y1 minus y2 and then x1 minus x2, but not, never do this, y1 minus y2 and then here you come x2 minus x1. No, if you start with 1y, here you must start with x1 also. So it has to be like that. If you start with x2, there must be x2. So like say y2 minus y1 and here must be x2 minus x1, but don't switch. If this is y1, you can start here with x2. That's very acceptable. Okay, now we go. So now we're going to say, oh man, I'm sweating a lot. I apologize, just for a second. Okay, so now we say, for this case now, okay, what is a y2? y2 equal to -2. minus y1, y2 equal to negative 2, y1 equal to 0. And then over x2, what is x2 equal to 0? Minus x1. x2 equal to 0 minus x1, x1 equal to 5. Let's check again. y2 equal to negative 2. Can you see negative 2? And then minus y equal to 0. Excuse me, x2 equal to 0 minus x1 equal to 5. If you don't want to do that, you can just say, if you don't want to do, like I said, you can switch. You can just say, okay, if I don't want to do that, I can just start with saying. So this is going to give you the same answer, which is going to be equal to negative 2 minus 0 equal to negative 2. 0 minus negative 5 equal to negative 5, which equal to negative positive. So it's 2 over 5. You see what I'm saying? Or if you don't want to do that, you could have started like other way around. But that's the already slope. Don't waste a lot of time. But I'm just saying, you could have said slope also equal to y1, like saying y1 minus y2, x1 minus x2 is going to give you the same answer. Let's see. 0 minus negative 2. So 0 minus, what is y1? y1 means this is y1 equal to 0 minus y2. What is y2? See, y2 equal to negative 2 over. Okay, now x1 equal to 5 minus x2 equal to 0. Look, negative positive. So positive 2 over 5 minus 0 equal to 5. You see, you give you the same answer. So we got a slope. When you get your slope, you come and you plug it in here. So it's going to be y equal to, what is the slope? Slope equal to 5. X is x plus c. You see what I'm saying? So now we finish up. We say the question is done already. So now we're going to say, for you to get C, you can take any of these two coordinates and finish up your question. Because the problem now, you don't have a C. You're looking for C so you can get your question. So now what you do, you can take any of these. So you can take any of the two, either these or this, whichever you want. Okay, let me start with it. Let me take that one, 5 and 0. So what you do is, you take any of the two, and then take this, substitute in this equation that you don't have a C. So what is the y? Y equal to 0, you're going to plug in here 0, equal to 2 over 5. What is the x? X equal to 5 plus c. So now we go by 5, 1 by 5, 1. You can plug in the calculator. 2 times 5 equal to 10, 10 divided by 5 equal to 2. So here you're going to have 0 equal to 2 plus c. Take over. So these two is going to come over. It's going to be negative 2 plus 0 equal to negative 2 equal to c. So it's like come here, negative 2, 0 minus 2 equal to negative 2 equal to c. So c equal to negative 2. So since you got the value of c, means we can substitute in here. And finally, our equation of a line, y equal to 2 over 5 x plus c. So this is our final equation of a line. So that's the final equation of a line, you can see. But now, let's go to the option now. So in the option, they kind of play around with your mind. I'm going to show you now. So now, let's go. Do we have this here? Oh, what am I doing now? We know the value of c. What is c? C equal to negative 2. So c equal to negative 2. So it's going to be plus c. So it's like plus negative 2. Plus and minus, minus. So minus 2. So it's like minus 2. Apologies guys, minus 2. So now, let's go to the option now. So if you check in the option, we don't have none of this. Let's see. None of this. But if you look carefully, for example here. Here it's like, look, they take this one over. So it's the same thing, but they're kind of trying to play with your mind to see if you can flip it around. Look, if we take negative 2 over, it's going to become what? Y. This is going to be plus 2 equal to 2 over 5x. So this is the same thing, they kind of play around, but this is the final answer. But here they play with your mind. So this is true. So this is true. Option 4 is true. Now, let's see. Another way you can do, look, if you multiply, this is 5 here, right? It's 5. Look, let me just erase here and then I'll show you some. Okay, so now, look, so this is true. Now, let's take this one. So we say y plus 2 equal to 2 over 5x. So now we can play around. How we going to play around? Look, I can multiply because I want to see, because all this other stuff is like a linear. So I'm gonna say, if I take, if I look careful, okay, now I can multiply by 5 throughout because I want to make it linear. Look, multiply by 5, everything multiply by 5, multiply by 5. Why? Because I don't want to have this denominator. It's like somebody give you 1 over 3x equal to 7. So if you want to make it linear, what you do, you multiply by 3. You don't want this denominator. Multiply by 3. This and this cancel. So x, 1 times x is x equal to 7 over 3 equal to 21. So we're going to do the same thing. Multiply by 5, multiply by 5, multiply by 5. Y times 5 for y plus 2 times 5 equal to 10 equal to. Now this and this cancel, so it's 2x. Let's see if we have this also in option. We don't have, but it look like this. But now if you look careful, it's like they take this 10 over. See? So they say 5y equal to 2x. Take this over, minus 10. So this is true also. Option 3 is true. Okay. So these two also need to play around. Okay. Now we go. Now we go. Now we go. So one of these must go. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Okay, this is y. Okay. Y, yeah, it's the same thing. Look, because look, if you look careful this, it's the same as this. Because what did I do? Look, is y. Look, y is y. They take this over. They take this over here. Remember, this is a plus. When you go over equal sign, it's going to become minus what? 2 over 5x. Equal to negative 2. Which is this on option 2 is true. So option 1 is not true. So option 1 is the answer. You know why? Because they say the one which does not represent this line. So this does not, because it's not true. And that's what we're looking for according to the question, because we want the one which does not represent. This is the same thing, so to represent the same thing. This is same to represent the same thing, same here the same, but this is not. Easy, man. It's just a waste of time. When you do this question, it is easy like that, man. Thanks a lot. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I believe in learning from how to do things. If it's make sure you subscribe, and you know, you can just go and do donation to our Patreon page. I have a Patreon, I have a GoFundMe. You know what I'm saying? I have all the means of donation, because to make this project going, you know, any type of donation, the little that you think is too small for you, it could make a lot of change. And thanks a lot for all your time. You know, subscribe, don't forget, share this video, circulate to a lot of people, you know, because the meaning of this project, this program, is to help as many as we can. Okay, it's not only for one person or two, because you might think it's not helpful for you, but for somebody next out there, it could be very, very helpful. So thanks a lot, man. And you know, any donation that you did to me, it means so much. I appreciate it, man. It means a lot. Go to our Patreon page, go to our GoFundMe, because we need to have a lot of things. We need to put them together, like camera, you know, and a lot of equipment, so that we can improve on, you know, a lot of angle, a lot of aspects of these projects. You know, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate and I love you. Peace, man. Bye. You know, this is one of my students of knowledge. You know, she wanted to introduce herself. What's your name? Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Cody.
Yeah.
I go to Solosen's primary school.
Yeah, I'm trying to Bantu.
Trying
Bantu is everywhere, right? So this is my other student. His name, what's your name? Matthew, yeah, he's grade 11, man. So his aim is to score distinction, right? So you promise I want you to score distinction this time. And what's your name? Joshua, how much you promise me to score this time?
Distinction.
Distinction. Yeah, so trying to is everywhere, man.
Trying about you everywhere. I'm trying about you everywhere.
Everywhere.
Trying about you
Exactly.
everywhere.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. If you had to give advice, which advice would you give to the people or to the students?
Trust Amish.
Why would they trust me?
No, because it's really good. It actually has helped a lot. I redid first year for maths. It was my own fault, but also I didn't know a lot of the work. And Amish said lots of hard questions, and it's demotivating sometimes to do the harder stuff. You like just want to get done, but it's the hard stuff that makes you realize the easy stuff is easy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hamish. Thank you. And wish you all the best with your hard work. And I just want to say we appreciate you. And I have achieved like 93%. Sanbonani. This is Umar Nonkula Kizismongo. I live in Devon in KwaZulu-Natal, and I was born in KwaHlabisa in KwaZulu-Natal.
Hello everyone, this is Uketele Nomvalo from Johannesburg, Midrand. I'm studying through uni. I would like to thank Mr. Hamish for helping us so much. We have actually got 90 to 100% on that. Thank you so much, Mr. Hamish. Siyabonga.